Once upon a time, in a charming little village, there lived a kind-hearted, yet naive, linnet. He was a humble and hard-working little fellow, always willing to help others. Linnet had a dear friend named Hans, a rich and selfish miller. Hans, the miller, had everything he desired, but he cared only for himself and his wealth. He would often take advantage of Linnet's generosity and ask him to do various tasks without considering his friend's feelings. One day, Hans got invited to a grand party at the mayor's house. He wanted to impress everyone with a magnificent gift, so he went to Linnet for help. "Hear me, Linnet, my dear friend. I've been invited to the mayor's party, and I need a present that will make me the talk of the town. Can you make me a beautiful white rose from your garden?" asked Hans, grinning greedily. Linnet, with his pure heart, agreed without hesitation. He spent days and nights crafting a delicate rose from the finest silver and adorning it with precious jewels. The rose was a true work of art, and Linnet presented it to Hans. Hans was delighted with the gift and went to the party, showing off the silver rose to everyone. But as the night went on, he became envious of all the attention his gift was receiving. He wanted to be the center of attention, not just his own. At the party, Hans met a little swallow who was on his way to Egypt. The swallow, exhausted from his long journey, sought a place to rest. Seeing Hans' discomfort, the swallow asked if he could stay the night on the miller's roof. Hans, thinking only of himself, replied, "I don't want any dirty birds on my roof, and especially not a common swallow. Go away." Hearing this, Linnet felt sad for the poor swallow. He knew what it felt like to be turned away and decided to let the bird rest in his warm and cozy house. Linnet cared for the swallow, sharing his food and making him feel comfortable. As the days passed, the swallow and Linnet became good friends. The swallow enjoyed listening to Linnet's stories and admired his selfless nature. He saw how Linnet always put others' needs before his own. Meanwhile, Hans continued to take advantage of Linnet's kindness, asking for more extravagant gifts to impress his friends. Each time, Linnet worked tirelessly to create the most exquisite gifts, even though it brought him physical and emotional exhaustion. One cold winter night, the swallow noticed that Linnet didn't have enough warm clothes. He also overheard Hans planning to ask for a golden cloak from his friend.
Linnet is such a devoted friend, and yet Hans only cares about himself,
the swallow thought. The next morning, the swallow flew to the top of the miller's roof and overheard Hans talking to another rich friend about Linnet's gift. "I asked Linnet for a golden cloak, but it must be adorned with precious gems too. After all, it's the least he can do for me," Hans said greedily. The swallow was outraged by Hans' selfishness. He knew he had to do something to open Linnet's eyes to the true nature of his friendship with the miller. On his way to Linnet's house, the swallow picked up all the gems and precious stones he could find, and with his beak, he decorated the snow around Linnet's home, creating a breathtaking sight. When Linnet woke up and saw the sparkling beauty outside, he was amazed and thought the snow itself had turned into diamonds. "Such a miracle must be a gift from heaven," Linnet exclaimed joyfully. As the day went on, the village people came to see the incredible sight, and word spread about the magical diamond-studded snow. The news reached Hans, who rushed to Linnet's house, eager to have the diamond cloak he desired. When Hans arrived and saw the diamonds, he was furious. He demanded that Linnet give him the cloak immediately. But Linnet, now enlightened by the swallow's actions, looked at Hans and said, "My friend, I have no cloak for you. These diamonds are a gift from heaven, and I treasure them dearly. I can no longer create gifts to impress you. Instead, I have found the true value of friendship and the joy of giving without expecting anything in return." Hans was stunned and embarrassed. He realized the depth of his selfishness and how he had taken advantage of Linnet's kind-hearted nature. From that day on, Linnet and the swallow remained devoted friends. They shared a bond built on selflessness and genuine care for each other. And as for Hans, he learned a valuable lesson about true friendship, one that he would never forget. And so, the story of the devoted friend teaches us that the beauty of friendship lies not in the lavish gifts we give or receive, but in the love, selflessness, and care we show to one another.